All right, good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to go over traffic to your websites and how do we drive traffic to your websites. So having a website is great and all, but if you don't get people's eyes on it, it doesn't really do you any good. So that's why we're going to talk about how we get people to get to your website. So this will be a really good webinar for a lot of you that are just getting started with your websites. We have a lot of new agents on the line, so welcome new agents. Before we get into today's presentation, I'm going to bring on Bill Seitz from Clearview Mortgage. And Bill, what's going on out there in mortgage land?
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you.
All right, good. So
yeah. Was Cameron on? Was Cameron on this morning or no? I wasn't sure. I talked to him last night, but
I don't see him on there. He might, every once in a while he gets caught on a call and he just keeps going. So that might be the case.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so the markets are just a little bit skittish. Obviously the last couple weeks with all this geopolitical craziness going on, I'm sure if anyone turns on the news, that's pretty much all they talk about. And as you can see here this morning, the 10-year has been flopping around. If you look even the past 5 days, it's been really erratic. And what that tells you is that investors are just unsure of, kind of what's going to happen here with all these events kind of taking place. So, it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks how this plays out. But, I was kind of reading through some of the car housing reports this morning, and it seems to be that, some of the sales, while they're still strong, some of the interest rate hikes have kind of cooled a little bit of the buyers out there. The qualifying is a little bit tighter. So, if you do have strong buyers, I think they're going to have a better opportunity now to pick up properties where, you're not going to see maybe 10 or 15, 20 offers on each property. You're still going to be competitive, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as crazy as it was maybe 6-9 months ago.
Yeah, that's good news. And all of
yeah, I mean, people are still, really, want to get into the market. They want to get in, into a property. I think they're going to have an opportunity, but, the interest rate is probably going to be a little bit higher than what we've all been used to in the last, 12, 18 months.
Yeah, but, historically, we're still in super cheap money land. So I don't see that being a giant barrier, especially, for people that, they've saved the money and they're ready to go. And, they're still going to be able to take advantage of, historically pretty dang low rates for a while, right?
Yeah, I don't think they have too much room to move on this, really. I mean, the economy is pretty fragile. If they do raise interest rates too much further, I think that it's going to have a negative impact through all the credit markets, because as we all know, our economy and our lives are all revolving around credit. And so as long as that credit stays accessible and the interest rates stay, relatively user-friendly, then we shouldn't have any issues.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, thanks, Bill. Appreciate that. Of course, anybody that needs to get a hold of the Clearview Mortgage team, easiest thing to do is go to cvmloans.com or clearviewmortgageca.com, and all of our loan officers are there, and they are there to serve you. So please don't hesitate to get a hold of those guys.
Yeah, and Kevin, I have one more quick update. I had a agent reach out to me yesterday asking if the PED form was still a requirement, and that's been kind of it's no longer been a requirement for some time now. So for those of you that are thinking that those forms need to be used to enter and view a property, that's not a requirement. And to that further point, just the masking guidance, just statewide masking guidance, the California Association of Realtors kind of goes by the California Department of Public Health, and just want to kind of update everybody here what their stance is on what mask requirements are. Effective March 1st, so about a week ago, the current requirement that unvaccinated individuals mask indoor settings has been revised to strong recommendations. and that all persons, regardless of vaccine status, continue indoor masking. And this guidance will affect real estate activities such as showings and open houses. So, I think obviously things are kind of lightening up a little bit, and just wherever, we all have different positions on all this stuff that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, but it's good just to know where the formal messaging is coming from the state and coming from the California Association of Realtors. So they go by the, CDPH, which is California Department of Public Health. And you're also going to want to, I know that there's certain areas of the state that are a little bit stricter than others. I know LA County is still super strict, but other areas seem to be kind of lifting some of those whatever mandates or whatever you want to call them. So just kind of be aware of that. At a local level, it still has its own kind of life, or kind of what's the word? They rules and regulations. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, exactly. And as real estate agents, we're used to being chameleons. So if your clients are all masked up, maybe do that too, right? We're chameleons. So thanks for that, Bill. Really appreciate it. And another giant bit of news, and Bill, you can chime in on this as well, is we're switching our compliance system from .loop back to SkySlope. So apologize for those that like .loop, but we were having a lot of issues. And so we are going to switch back to SkySlope. So all of you should have by now a SkySlope account. And I know Tyler has been working in the background getting everybody set up. So if you don't have a SkySlope account, you can certainly contact me or Tyler at altarealtygrp.com, and he can assist you. And so what we'd like to do is by March 15th, if you get a new listing, just make sure that you put it into SkySlope, not .loop. We will maintain the two for at least a month to just make sure everybody closes out deals that were in .loop, but we will be transitioning to SkySlope. So I'll be putting out an email detailing that today. So look for that, but that is the way that we're going to do that. One sec, let me bring Bill back on there. Bill, comments there.
Yeah, so obviously we try really hard not to disrupt the process, and what we are are trying to make a really efficient process here at Alta Realty Group. But there was some difficulty with some agents really understanding and learning the .loop system. So we originally were at SkySlope, and which was working fine. I think we got lured into some of the bells and whistles that were promised with .loop that didn't work out. The intentions were there, but ultimately it wasn't a system that was user-friendly with all of the agents, and it was somewhat confusing for some. So it's been a decision to move back to SkySlope, which is very user-friendly for all people. Most agents are familiar with SkySlope. So we do, we've heard your feedback. We've listened to a good amount of you guys. So we have made this decision to move back to SkySlope in order to make everyone's lives easier. Lauren also, while she's very effective at both platforms, she, if she had to lean one way, she would go back to SkySlope as well. So that's what we're doing. And we hope that makes everyone's lives, TCs, everyone's, as they're uploading documents, a lot easier, a lot more user-friendly. And Kevin, how are they getting their logins, or what's that process like if they haven't had a SkySlope account?
Yeah, so Tyler has gone in and created a SkySlope account. So you should have an email from SkySlope. And so that's what you'll be looking for. You'll be logging in using your email that you have on file with us. And then if you don't see that email, you can still just go to SkySlope, go to log in with that email, and then just click forgot your password. And then they'll just send you a password reset. So we're also here to help. If you have questions, you can definitely get a hold of me, 949-285-7209. And Tyler is also proficient in getting you guys set up. So don't hesitate to reach out to Tyler. All right, perfect. Well, thanks for that, Bill. Appreciate it. And now we're going to switch gears and we're going to head into our presentation. So let me share my screen with you guys. One sec. Okay, so driving traffic to your website. So as I alluded to, having a website doesn't do you any good if you're not sending people there and you're not getting people to look at it and interact with it. So a lot of different ways that we can send people to our websites. Obviously, I think the biggest one, most obvious, is social media. So when we have our social media accounts, primarily Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Obviously, there's tons of other ones that you guys can be using. But those particular social media accounts, we have different ways that we interact with these. So let me share my screen with you, and we'll take a look at some of the ways that we interact. So with Instagram, you'll notice that it's really one of the most difficult platforms to try to send traffic back to your website, because they basically just give you an image, right? And you can put hashtags and all that kind of stuff, but that's not going to send anybody to your website. So and you can put in the URL in here, but it's not a hyperlink. So how do we get around that? How do you get somebody from Instagram to your website? And they do that, on purpose, by the way. It's completely designed like that. So on Instagram, the only way to send people to your website is from your profile. So somebody actually has to click onto your profile and they can check out your stuff. And then in your profile, Instagram gives you one link. So that'd be great. You can just send them right to your website. But there's a really cool thing called Linktree. And so you've noticed that we have this little Linktree link. So let's click on it and find out what that does. So you click on Linktree, and instead of just having a link to your website, you've got a link to all different kinds of stuff. So we've got links to some of our agents' listing single property websites. So here's one of Pam's single property websites. So the cool thing about that is, and you're starting to see this more and more, Linktree is becoming really popular. But now you can send someone here and they can see all these different little spots. And so, of course, for ARG, we want to have a link to our recruiting page because, of course, we want to attract agents. So, and you can just go to our regular website. But how much better is that than just, okay, take me to the website or take me to, wherever, whatever landing page that you want. This is a really effective landing page, guys. And so I strongly recommend that you guys go to Linktree. It's literally just linktr.ee, weird, modern URL. But you go here and it is free to sign up. So you just click there, sign up for free, and then you can create that really cool link. And in our case, it's literally linktr.ee/arg.ca. So it makes it so it's very, very easy to send people to your websites. And like I said, any of your websites. So not just the the regular website, single property websites, bios. You can send them to a free report about something. You can one of these links can be to one of your landing pages that's like fill out your information and get a CMA report, right? So this is a really cool thing that I haven't seen a lot of agents using. I've seen a lot of agencies and companies using this, but I want to see our agents, to kind of take their Instagram page to the next level and use Linktree. So that is how you can send traffic from Instagram to your website. So now let's take a look at Facebook. So Facebook, as you guys know, is completely different. Facebook does give us the ability to put in links, especially to our single property websites, right? And so you can click here, boom, that takes us to one of our websites. And this again is, actually this is Egal's listing up in in Fairfield, Northern Cal. So he just sold this one, but same kind of thing. So you can send people from here to your websites, and all these right here they happen to just be the single property websites. But we can also send them to other places, right? You can send them to, for instance, this is one of our blog posts. So click there, boom, that takes us to our Alt Realty Group blog posts. And so this, again, this is where you guys are able to take this information and send it to your clients in a variety of different ways. And so we're going to get into that in a second here. So getting back to my graphic here. So that's social media, Linktree for Instagram, how Facebook is completely different. And then LinkedIn is also very cool because they also allow you to put in all kinds of links. You can put in videos, very similar to Facebook. Not quite as many people looking at it, but it's still valid. So that's a really cool thing to do as well. Email. So in our, I think every single agent here needs to be doing their newsletters. And so I just alluded to that. So putting your newsletters on your website and then sending that out via email to all of your clients and everybody in your sphere of influence, that has a link that goes back to the website, right? So you're constantly, in whatever you're doing, you want to send people back to your website, right? So your blog posts are great as a link. In a perfect world, what you'll do is when you send your newsletter out via your CRM, and everybody that's part of Program 2 has a CRM system through agent marketing. So you'll send that newsletter out and you'll also have links back to your website. So a really cool best practice is to put about 1/4 of the blog post in the newsletter. That's actually the email. Then have a little link that says read more. And where does that take them? Of course, that takes them back to your website. So super, super cool to draw them back to your website. Because once they're on your website, of course, they're going to see the other things that are there. They're going to be maybe now I'm going to search the MLS, or I'm going to take a look at some of these other community pages and, IDX search pages, right? And so I'd say the single property websites are the single, and the newsletters are probably the two biggest ways to send and reasons to send people back to your website. So, and what's great is if somebody's on social media, you want to get them off of there. You want to pull them over onto your content. And so that's, you're successful when you do that. So email is a great way, again, to just pull people off of what they're doing. They're on their computer, they see an email, oh, great. And then all of a sudden they're on your website. So then text marketing is a really good way to pull people to your website. So with our agent marketing system, we do have the ability to create text writers. And so let me just show you that real quick because it's so important. And we'll bring up Pam Evans. So our text writers, so everybody that has an agent marketing system has the ability to create a text system. So, and with the agent marketing system, you're able to get create your own unique text code that's unique to you and you control it. Now, everybody that uses the agent marketing system gets to share this little number, 79564. So in Pam's case, what she's done is she's created a sign writer that goes on top of the for sale sign that says text Pam Evans to 79564 to get all the info on this property, right? And so what happens there? We send that person to the single property website. boom. And so the cool thing about that is once Pam sells this particular property and she gets a new property, we just switch this URL out for the new URL for the new single property website. So you can use the same printed text writer multiple times over and over again. We just send them to a different spot, click save, and away we go. So same thing. We're taking somebody that's driving by our sign and we're sending them to our website. So it's really remarkable. The fact that not all agents utilize that is crazy to me, because you're doing lead generation from a sign that's out in front. You know, gone are the days of putting out the little flyer box, and people can come up and they can take a flyer, where the neighborhood kids can grab them and throw them all around and make paper airplanes, you know, and you never knew who took a flyer. This way, and the millennials love this stuff, by the way, this way, you know exactly who drove by because they end up in your CRM system. So it's a great way to do lead capture. So another it's an old technique, but a new technique, just because it's come back so big in the last year with COVID, is QR codes. So exactly the same thing. I'm starting to advocate for putting, you know, another kind of sign writer out in front of the on the for sale sign. Imagine a sign writer that drops off the bottom, and it's nothing but a giant QR code. And, you know, it could be 8 inches by 8 inches, 10 inches by 10 inches, just a nice little square. And people that are driving by can take their phone up with their camera, scan the QR code, and boom, they go right to the website. So in this case, if you guys at home and you're on your desktop, you can take your phone out, you can actually scan this QR code, and you're going to go to Pam's 108 West Cliff Avenue single property website. So super, super cool technology. I don't really see too many people utilizing that on sign writers, but why not? Same thing with just open house signs and any other signs that you put out, you know, signs out on the corner, put a QR code on it. They're fun. People do it all the time. And so the same thing there, if somebody scans that QR code, they're going to go into your lead area. They're going to go into your CRM. So you're able to communicate with those people. So super, super important technology to be able to utilize. And Bill, do you have any comments on that so far?
Yeah, with the QR code, I've just noticed there's a lot more adoption rate with people using the QR codes. Whether you're at a restaurant and you scan the menu, or your other places, it seems that it's reaching a wider range of age groups too. The millennials obviously are very versed at doing the QR codes. Seems to be second nature to them. And I think as we're all, learning this new technology, that's something that people are very familiar with, and they're utilizing on a daily basis, whether they're going out to eat with their family and they have to scan the menu, or whatever it is, they understand how to use that technology now. Side note, I personally hate it, but it's the world we live in.
It's there.
It's there. So, I think in the real estate capacity, it can be very effective.
For sure. Remember the Super Bowl, the Coinbase commercial, the little QR code bouncing around.
It's unbelievable, but it's here. It's here to stay. So,
and it's really strange because QR codes, when they came out, they were kind of hot, and then they fizzled big time. And just the fact that Apple and Android made it so the phone camera can capture that and COVID re-exploded the QR code, right? So it's back. So let's go to our graphic again. Just got a couple more things to go over, but those are really the big ones, and then of course, if you're doing Google ads, and Facebook ads, any other kind of banner ads, all of those are designed to bring somebody back to your website. So very same thing, business directories, all of the Google and even Yelp and all of the local directories, the community directories, all of those give you abilities to put in hyperlinks back to your websites and back to some of your squeeze pages too, in some respects. And then SEO, search engine optimization, is a very underutilized way to get people to your websites. So the way that agents are able to utilize SEO the most effectively is by taking advantage of creating content on their website about their name and the word realtor. Most of the time when somebody gets a referral, they're gonna Google your name. So super, super important that your information comes up at the top. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to do a search for, how about Charles Barnes, Realtor. And so you'll notice that Charles Barnes has done a very good job of putting all of his correct information, not only on his website, this is one of his websites, but he's also created a Google Plus local page for Charles Barnes Lakeside Realtor. So Lakeside is kind of his area that he, sorry. My little dog sitting right next to me, and she's asleep and dreaming and barking. Sorry about that. So we're able to take advantage of putting content on our websites, and that's called search engine optimization, because we're trying to optimize the page for this particular search term, which in this case is Charles Barnes Realtor, right? So SEO is another way to make sure that we're able to bring people from Google, and they're just searching for stuff, or even maybe just doing some research on us, to, oh, here's Charles Barnes. Oh, cool. Yeah, he likes to fish, and he does aerial footage of his area, Lakeside. And so he has search engine optimized this page very well for his name. And so one really good way to optimize a page is to embed Google videos, YouTube videos. Google owns YouTube. So utilizing their stuff, they love that. And so he's got 2 different YouTube videos, and the videos are optimized for stuff like his name. So if you go to the actual video page, it'll have his name in there. And so all of it is relevant, and all of it points back to Charles Barnes Realtor. So search engine optimization in itself is an entire study. And we do a lot of specific search engine optimization webinars. And so you guys can go back and look at the YouTube channel and find some of the search engine optimization webinars that we've done. And we're certainly going to be doing one in the next couple of months or the next couple of weeks. But that in itself is just a massive, massive topic. So search engine optimization is certainly a way to drive traffic back to your websites. Another way is, utilizing guest bloggers, working with other ancillary service providers and providing them with links back to your website with information that you're providing. So that's a good way. Contests and giveaways. You guys all know that I love advocating for doing referral contests. And when you do those referral contests, you can create the information on the website and then send people to the website to get more information about what you're doing, right? Video marketing, same thing. YouTube always allows you to put in links. They actually allow several links. And so you can, create a great content video, have some links back to your website and to other videos that you control. You can also embed videos into your website and send people back to the website with a video embedded, right? So there's just so many ways to create this web and to connect all of these different things. But the theme is you're sending people back to the website because that's where the content is. And the last two, of course, question and answer pages, same thing. You can send people to those pages when they have questions and say, hey, here's, some really good information about buying and selling. Our agent marketing system comes with really good pre-built content that talks all about all that stuff. Mortgage information, right? Tons of information about, what different mortgages are and what it means. So those are all great things to have on your website, and then to be sending people with hyperlinks back to those pages in order to boost traffic to your website. So I know it's a massive topic, but I just want to, as usual, get you guys thinking the right direction and to start understanding how powerful this stuff is when you start utilizing it in your marketing. So that is all I have for today's presentation. Bill, any quick takeaways if you're still with us?
Yeah, I just think, I think you had mentioned it in the very beginning. It's like, just having a website is fine. Just if people are going to, maybe research you, or you just want to send them to maybe a little bio link page, but it's not the robust way to make it work for you, and to, like you said, create that web of potential traffic, potential clients finding you in the other, mechanisms of advertising and marketing. So it is your hub, it's your center location, but you've got to have all the other things pushing and pushing into it.
For sure. And so if you build it right, you need to really think of your website as a resource for your clients. You just want that to be kind of the mantra. And so as you're building pages on your website, you need to think about, is this going to be helpful for my clients? And there's tons of things that are really helpful for your clients. And you can keep referring them to that. Like, hey, no problem. Let me send you a link. And if you get good at this stuff, you can be sending them links, in a text, right? Texting them links. Oh, here, let me just shoot you a quick text to this page on my website with the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, content and information is the crux of the whole thing. So yeah, if you're sending out good content, and people are going to be engaged in what you're doing, and ultimately they will want to learn more about you and what you do.
Yeah, and then you're providing that service. You're providing all of these things basically for free. You're giving. You're establishing yourself as the expert. And, you have all of this information. Your website is this amazing hub of info. So that's kind of what you always want to be striving for.
And two, if you're in this for the long game, this is your career. This is what you do. This is where you're passionate about real estate. It's mandatory that you get this thing built and get your infrastructure there, because once it's there, the maintenance is not a huge thing. It's just getting it organized and getting it basically built.
Right. Well, perfect. Appreciate the insight there, Bill. If you guys are part of program 1 and you would like to be part of program 2, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and we'll make sure that you get set up and get your website built for you, get your CRM system all set up. I really believe in it, and I know the people that use it, they really see the benefit. So with that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the webinar, and I hope you guys get out there, make it a great week, a productive week, and we'll see you guys next week on the webinar. Bye-bye.